Welcome to the Kenexa BrassRing Navigation Overview. In this module, you will learn how to navigate in the Kenexa BrassRing system, the new online recruiting tool for ASU. In this presentation, we will discuss what you'll need to gain access to BrassRing, how to navigate the home page, what you can do with the panels, menus, and folders, how you can view the requisition details and applicant information, and where you can find additional resources and register for training. You will find an attached navigation and general use business process guide in the Attachments tab on the left. Please review it after watching this overview. We will not cover all areas of BrassRing, only those which you will most frequently use or encounter in the course of your recruitment. You can also download the Navigation Business Process Guide from the following link. This overview is intended to show you how to navigate BrassRing, so that you can find your way around the system and know where to look for certain pieces of information or ways to take certain actions. But it will not show key parts of the overall recruitment process such as position management, creating requisitions, dispositioning and reviewing candidates, doing background checks, or creating offer forms and offer letters. You must register and attend a series of training sessions to learn more about these processes. In order to gain access into BrassRing, you will need to have a 2XB Hiring Manager role, which you can now request through MyASU. This Navigation Overview module is only a small part of a larger series of training sessions covering the entire span of the recruitment process, from planning and approvals done in position management to all the recruiting steps in BrassRing. You must complete these training sessions to gain Hiring Manager access into BrassRing. Please keep in mind that not everyone in your recruiting team needs to or should have Hiring Manager access to BrassRing. Members of your recruiting team who only need to review resumes or complete an interview evaluation form can be given e-links to do so. We will discuss e-links later in this presentation. The Hiring Manager role is granted many rights, which you may want to restrict to a limited number of staff in your department. Lastly, you will need to review the online training materials, such as this navigation overview and any related resources posted on the HR BrassRing website. Before you access BrassRing, it's important that you configure your browser with the correct settings. BrassRing supports the following browsers on both Macs and PCs: Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. Working in BrassRing will involve multiple open windows, so you will need to disable your pop-up blocker or make BrassRing.com a trusted site. You can also set your browser to open new tabs instead of new windows to reduce clutter. Please see the attached guide for details on how to configure your browser settings. You will access BrassRing through MyASU. You'll find the BrassRing icon on the Applications bar on the left side of the page. To get to the BrassRing homepage, hover your mouse over the Apps bar to reveal the links, and then click on the BrassRing link. Now we're going to cover how to customize your panels. When you're working in one panel exclusively, you can expand the panel by clicking the Maximize button. This will enable you to view more panel content without having to scroll. You can also minimize a panel out of the way with the Minimize button. When minimized, a panel appears as a tab on the upper left corner above your panels. You can restore the minimized panel by clicking this tab. You can also close a panel which removes it from your home screen, so that whenever you log back in, it will no longer appear. Closed panels can be restored from the plus-minus portal button at the top center of the home page. This button will also allow you to reset all the panels back to the default setting. Some panels have a refresh button next to the minimize button, which allows you to update the data in the panels. This can be useful when you're waiting for certain BrassRing generated updates, such as PeopleSoft validations, which you can learn more about in the training. You can resize panels and move them around with a click and drag action. You'll see a 4-pointed arrow appear when you hover your mouse over the top border of a panel, indicating the option to drag the panel. You will also see a double-pointed arrow when you hover your mouse over the sides or bottom border of a panel, enabling you to click and drag the sides to resize the panel. Panel columns can be added, removed, or reordered however you wish. You can do so by going to the Display menu on the top right corner and selecting Edit Columns. This opens a window which displays available columns and selected columns. You can click and drag columns between the two areas, and click and drag within each area to reorder the columns. Make sure to click Save when you're finished. You'll notice there's also a Restore Defaults button to restore the columns to the default setting. The rows in a panel can be sorted by column data. You can do this by either clicking on the column name or going to Display and then Sort Options. From the Sort Options menu, you have the ability to do a multi-sort. You can also truncate header names to display column data in a more compact grid. To review what we have seen, panels can be resized or maximized, removed or minimized, moved around, or reset to default. Panel columns can be added, removed, or reordered, and rows can be sorted by column data. Please see the attached business process guide for more information. In this next section, we'll take a look at the actions you can take within panels. We're going to cover only the My OpenRecs panel and the Candidate Results panel, where you'll spend most of your time in BrassRing.
When you hover your mouse over a requisition ID in the My OpenRecs panel, a pop-up will appear with the key details about the rec, such as the date it was opened, the number of positions, and the recruiting team assigned to the rec. Keep in mind that this panel will often have more columns displayed than what are visible in the panel, so remember to scroll to the right to view the additional columns. You can click on the requisition ID number to get more information about the rec. The rec detail page opens up and displays all the information pertaining to the rec, including all posting details, its history, any attachments, form submitted, and notes added. At the top of the rec detail page are action buttons which you can use to edit, e-link, or print a rec, among other things. We will discuss e-links later in this presentation. When you click on a candidate count link in the My Open Recs panel, the candidates results panel opens and is populated with the candidates pertaining to that rec. The candidate results panel is where you can manage your candidates. In the top right corner of the My Open Recs panel is an Actions menu, from which you can take several actions such as create a new rec or e-link a rec. When at least one rec is selected, you can also take actions such as editing or canceling the selected recs. The Filters menu lets you filter the results in the output grid in the panel by many different criteria, such as candidate type or HR status. Some criteria will let you choose a value for the filter, and you can do so by clicking and dragging the available values to the selected box. The Candidate Results panel can be opened from either the My Candidates panel or My Open Recs panel by selecting a candidate count link. The Candidate Results panel provides information about each candidate, such as their Talent Gateway rank, which is a score based on their responses to the job-related questions, their candidate type, either external or internal, and their HR status. You can view a candidate's talent record by clicking on their name. A candidate's talent record shows all the information about a candidate, such as their resume, cover letter, contact information, system status, HR status, and much more. From here you can do things such as print their resume or CV, or e-link this entire talent record to a member of your recruiting team using the Actions menu at the top right corner. From the TG rank column, you can click on the score and open the Gateway Questionnaire window. This shows you all the information submitted by the candidate, such as their cover letter and resume, and also their responses to the job-related questions, which you can view by clicking the 2 Questions and Answers link at the top of the page. The Actions menu in the Candidate Results panel gives you many options. When at least one candidate is selected, you can send e-link or ad hoc email, create documents, add notes or forms, move or copy to working folders, browse multiple or speed browse, print resume or talent record, update candidate type or status. Let's focus on a couple of ways you can view and compare the talent record of several candidates. You can refer to the attached business process guide for additional information on the other actions. The first method of viewing and comparing multiple records is the Browse Multiple Candidates option. You'll first need to select multiple candidates in the panel, then click the Browse Multiple Candidates from the Actions menu. This option will basically stack the selected candidate's talent record for you to quickly navigate between them. The talent record window opens. You'll notice that at the top left corner are up and down arrows and a drop-down menu showing the names of the selected candidates. Use these arrows or the drop-down menu to go to a different candidate's talent record. There is also a way to quickly compare certain sections of the talent record of several candidates at once side by side. To do so, select multiple candidates in the panel, and then select Speed Browse option in the Actions menu. This will open up the talent record window and will display the contact details, resume or CV, cover letter, and experience or education of all the candidates side by side. You'll notice that the actions log, submissions history, and the status information are not included in the Speed Browse option. You'll need to view each candidate's individual talent record to access those areas. Once you have candidates in a requisition, you can disposition them through the review process. This is done primarily through the candidate's HR status. The HR status indicates what stage in the review process the candidate is in, starting from application submitted all the way to hired, in the case of a competitive recruitment. There are many HR statuses and dispositioning stages, which we will not cover in this overview. We will point out that you can update a candidate's HR status by clicking on the HR status and selecting the appropriate option from the drop-down menu that appears. Please register for the training on the HR BrassRing website to learn more about how to disposition candidates. At certain disposition stages, such as after a first interview, you are required to complete a form for a candidate. To do so, go to the Forms column and click on the Forms icon. This will open the forms list for the candidate. From this page, you can view all forms that have been created. You can also add a form and even e-link a blank form for non-BrassRing users to complete. More on this later. To add a form, simply select it from the drop-down menu and then click Add Form. Then fill out the form itself. Consult the process guide and sign up for training for more information. To summarize, you can take many different actions and view or access a variety of information using the panels. You can do things such as view additional information on requisitions, candidates, and related objects such as forms, create, edit, or cancel requisitions, view or compare talent records of multiple candidates, disposition candidates through the HR status, send an e-link to non-BrassRing users. This will be covered in more detail toward the end of the presentation. Please see the attached business process guide for additional information.
So now let's take a look at the drop-down menus at the top of the home page.
The Recs module or menu provides you with many options with respect to your requisitions. From this menu, you can view or add requisitions, view drafts, add rec templates, search recs, or view smart approvals. In this module, we're going to focus on viewing requisitions and adding requisitions. Please consult the business process guide for the other actions such as adding requisition templates or viewing smart approvals. To view your recs, go to Recs, then View My Recs, and select All Stages or one of the stages. This will take you to a page containing column headings that reside in a grid and display requisitions or candidates in the stage you selected, called an output grid. Here we're going to look at the output grid of My Recs in all stages. To the left of the output grid is an Actions menu, very similar to the Actions menu in the panel, which lets you take actions such as add a new rec, e-link, edit or cancel a rec, as well as export the output grid to Excel. Similar to the panels, output grids contain links and icons that can be selected for more information. As you would in the panels, you must select a requisition before you can select certain actions on the Actions menu to the left. Clicking on the requisition ID opens the requisition details page, as it does in the panels. If you click the rec folder icon, you will be taken to the rec folder, which will display an output grid for all candidates filed to that rec. The rec folder is the counterpart to the candidates results panel. You get an output grid with all the candidates pertaining to that rec, along with key information such as candidate type and HR status. In the rec folder, you have an Actions menu on the left and links or icons within the output grid that will allow you to take certain actions such as adding forms, adding notes, or updating HR status. From the Actions menu on the left, you can select a candidate, then view their talent record, e-link their talent record, or create documents such as offer letters. Basically, almost all actions and links to further information that are found in the panels can also be found in the output grids and accompanying action menus. Please consult the process guide for more information. From the Recs menu, you can also add a new rec by going to Add New Rec, and then selecting either Staff for University Staff Recruitment or Student Grad for Student Worker or Graduate Student Recruitment. This will open the Create Rec window, which starts you with selecting a job code. We will not cover this process in this overview. You can learn more about it by registering for a training session on the HR BrassRing website. In the Candidates menu or module, you can view My Candidates in any stage, view candidates in queue, go to My Folders, view My Formed Drafts, view My To-Dos, and add a candidate or contact which you would use in a waiver. In this overview, we're going to focus on viewing candidates, accessing folders, and to-dos. Please consult the business process guide for the other options. From the Candidates menu, you can go to My Candidates to view your candidates in any stage. This will open a page with a candidate output grid showing all the candidates in the selected stage with an Actions menu to the left. There are links or icons within the output grid that will allow you to take certain actions such as adding notes, adding forms, or updating HR status. From the Actions menu on the left, you can select a candidate, then take an action such as view their talent record, e-link their talent record, or create documents such as offer letters. Please consult the Business Process Guide for more information. In the Reports menu, you can run pre-existing standard reports, or you can run highly customizable reports using the Data Insight tool. Please consult the attached Business Process Guide on how to run reports. From the Admin menu, you can create a personal email list of your most frequently used email addresses for use with e-links, which we will cover in a moment. Please do not use the Edit My Account or Manage Security Questions items, as you will be signing in with your ASU Right ID and password. You can also ignore the Communications Batch Letters functionality, as that is restricted for the use of recruiters. Here's a summary of what we've just covered. From the drop-down menus, you can view your requisitions in any status, add or edit your requisitions in drafts, view your candidates in any status, view or edit drafts of forms and documents, access your folders, run standard or custom reports. We didn't cover every option in the menus, so please consult the attached Business Process Guide for additional information.
So now let's discuss e-links. E-links are email communications that can be used to give both BrassRing users and non-BrassRing users the ability to view or edit your recs, candidate information, and forms. This is extremely useful in cases where you want users to review rec information or candidate information without giving them 2xB Hiring Manager access and all its associated powers, and making them go through all the training needed to successfully use BrassRing. As we have already seen, the e-link option can be found in many areas, from Actions menus and panels, talent records, output grids, recs pages, and forms pages. You can e-link a requisition's information for others to review or edit. In the e-link rec page, you have the option to select BrassRing users, enter the email addresses of non-BrassRing users, and the option to be notified when forms are submitted by the users to whom you've sent the e-link. You can also e-link a candidate's complete talent record, which will come in handy when you have members in your recruiting team who only need to review a few resumes or CVs or complete a few forms. In the e-link a talent record page, you can select which candidate forms and which attachments to include, and you have the option to include the associated rec information as well. You can also e-link a candidate form by itself to others. To do so, open the Forms page, which you can access from either the Candidates panel or the Candidate Output grid. Select the form from the drop-down list, and then click E-link blank form. From there, you will have the option to specify to whom you'll send the e-link. To review, e-links are emails with links that enable non-BrassRing users to view requisition information, candidate information, and submit forms. For more information, please see the attached Business Process Guide. To review what we've discussed, a couple of ways you can stay organized in BrassRing is with working folders and notes, or to-dos. With a working folder, you can save candidates from many different requisitions into one folder and manage them there. Another way to stay organized is with to-dos. You can add to-dos to a candidate's record by adding a note and setting a reminder date. Please see the attached business process guide for additional information. There are many more areas or functionality which we have not covered in this overview. We have not discussed using the Analytics Metrics panel, adding links to the Quick Links panel, adding a candidate for waiver requisitions, viewing smart approvals, running standard or custom reports, searching requisitions or candidates, or configuring your browser settings. All of this and more is covered in the attached Navigation and General Use Business Process Guide, so please be sure to download and review the document. To request the 2XB Hiring Manager role, go to My ASU, and from the My Help area, Self-Support, select the PeopleSoft Submit a New Request for Access, and select the 2XB Hiring Manager role. The HR BrassRing website provides additional resources and information. There is also a link that will take you to a registration site where you can register for available training sessions on position management and Kenexa BrassRing that will walk you through the entire recruitment process from beginning to end. Training sessions are scheduled through November 8th.